Kristallnacht came that year, and that was, my mother called and said, come immediately home. And I actually thought, the school was closed, the teachers were arrested, and everything was over. I took the first train.
Why were the teachers arrested?
Well, that day or the next day, my mother said, take the first available train home. And I thought that they'd be protected in Ischenhausen because everybody knew everyone. Was I in for a shock? When the train ride back home, which was 2 or 3 days after Kristallnacht, I was never so petrified in my life. I was sitting in a compartment in the train, and I was obviously the only Jew, and I had long black hair, pigtails down to my hips. And 2 SS men came in and looking for Jews, and I was sitting in the corner crouched, frightened really to my, and people next to me discussing the Kristallnacht, Gentiles, and one woman saying to the other, it's too bad they didn't finish off all the Jews. And I had to get off then at the next express stop, and there someone expected me, a cousin who was older than I was, and he took me home to my mother, and I found out that our synagogue was raw plunder, that the women were made to scrub the floor, they tore up the Torah scrolls, the Nazis.
These were all the neighbors, Nazis who came from your town?
They said from outside, and I'm sure some from Ischenhausen as well, you know, but also from the outside. I was not there. I mean, you know how it was. It all happened so fast. I can't give you too many details. All I know is that the synagogue was destroyed. The Torah scrolls were destroyed. Men were interned. Women were beaten up. The father of my best girlfriend had his legs broken and was dragged through the main street on his broken legs. I mean, unbelievable. These were people, many of whom my parents went to school with, neighbors, and I mean, as I said, it was so incredible. And it was hard for me to believe, but I saw with my own eyes. After that, the synagogue was used as a firehouse until somebody tried to restore it in the 80s. Of course, no Jew survived from the whole town, either those of us who were lucky to get out, those who were deported, among whom was my beloved mother and sister, and others from my family. No one survived.